beginning of COVID, and some mistakes were inevitable. But 4 years on, I'm tired of hearing, well, we didn't know. No, we didn't. But some people guessed better than others. And the people who got it wrong don't seem to want to acknowledge that now.
I do shy away from talking about this topic because the problem is that it does get me worked up, straight up and down. There's no other word for it. It certainly does get me worked up because, man, seeing what was going on in 2020 and just knowing that I felt like I lived in a twilight zone. I was like, like what is going on? Our freedoms are being taken away from us over a respiratory disease. Anyway, I'm going too far. You see how it starts? So now people are having the moment of like, oh shoot, I think we were wrong. Now I will say Bill Maher, I think that he was kind of on it just a little bit earlier than other people.
People said closing schools for so long was pointless and would cause much worse collateral damage to kids, and they were right. Thank you. Okay. Don't be afraid. 4 years ago, the Daily Beast ran a story with the headline, Bill Maher pushes Steve Bannon Wuhan lab conspiracy theory, which was typical of the mainstream media at the time. Of course, it wasn't a conspiracy theory, and it wasn't owned by Steve Bannon. And now everyone, including the Biden administration, admits there's at least a 50-50 chance that the virus could have begun in the lab in Wuhan that was doing gain-of-function research on that virus.
Right. So, but we're going to kind of skip the rant. I know that they're watching it, and we're just going to go into what they're talking about because they will label this episode. And I hate when they label the episode with that blue labeling on the bottom. So we're just going to move on. He's right about everything he said, though. I mean, from the rip, anybody who was doing a teeny bit of research knew that that was a true story. I mean, it was called the Wuhan. So whatever. That was the time in my life when I got hit in the face with a bat of reality. That's what I call it. Because I was like, what in the world is this? Like, I know there's something called propaganda, but when we are dealing with medical situations and lives and ventilators and all of this stuff, this has gone too far. So it's a lot of times I shy away from talking about this because of the absolute PTSD that it gave me. Yeah, it did.
Or every now and then you have Sober Saturday, and he goes on a monologue that I agree with, that that I think is well crafted and well put together. The issue I have with Bill Maher is that he flips back and forth from slaughtering people on one side for laughs and for ratings and for clicks and everything he does, and then on the other side he puts together these monologues that I think are well crafted, correct, and very, very believable. And
I just like these episodes that I've been making and just watching the channel. First of all, thank you for watching the channel. We're bringing an asteroid of reality in 2024. I'm really pushing to get that 1,000 subscribers definitely before my birthday in June. Okay, so would like to have that 1,000 subscribers by the end of the week. I know we could do it. But anyway, guys, please hit the subscribe button. Please hit the like button and put on the notification bell. I really, really enjoy making these episodes. And, we could start, live streaming as soon as I get that 1,000. All right, let's go.
Just, you have to wait and see which Bill Maher you get each morning.
I'm kind of with Roger Stone on this. And this is a fact. You're saying like he's like you're seeing him on this show, Tom. He has a stable of writers. I don't think Bill Maher is right. I actually know some of his writers. He's not writing any of that stuff, and you nailed it. He is such a bipolar flip-flopper of points. Like one day you're like, oh my God, he's trying to come around, and then boom, Trump derangement syndrome. He has another relapse, and it's like you never know what you're gonna get. And I get it. And by the way, all these guys were all pushing the same thing with the vaccine and with all the COVID stuff. All of them, every single one of them now.
A bunch of words that I'm gonna have to censor because I don't. He's right, but I think I do remember Bill Maher just kind of being on it, but he does flip-flop. He does have writers. I mean, I know nothing is really original as much anymore, but I do remember him kind of being on it. But the Trump derangement syndrome, that's a fact. This guy has it to the point, but like he thinks when Donald Trump, if he gets elected, is going to like destroy the world. But he didn't do it in the 4 years that he had a chance to destroy the world. He didn't do it then. So what's going on?
To turn, and we're just all supposed to go, yeah, you know what? Yeah, you guys got it all wrong. No. Who was telling you guys to say it? Were you guys getting paid to say it? And now with all the crap that's happening with everybody, all the physical stuff that's happening, all the lockdowns, all the mental stuff, all the shit with the kids, all these random injuries that are happening, people dropping dead, cancer is up. Now we're supposed to just do what? Well, man, we got it wrong, and now let's hopefully we get it right the next time. I think the accountability definitely needs to be held. Everybody that was talking that crap needs to be held accountable. And he's too much of a flip flop guy. Like one day he's here, one day he's there. You don't know.
I agree with everything that he's saying. He's hitting it all on the nail. Like he really is. I mean, again, this thing gives me PTSD. I don't go into exactly the details of how bad it shouldn't have went this way. We'll just put it that way. Like this should have never happened. And in the meantime, while we know this should have never happened, it did happen. And it's just like, oh, okay, we're moving right along. I mean, at one point you had people like Don Lemon saying that if you're not jabbed, you shouldn't be able to go to the hospital. Like what? You know what I mean? Like it was just too much. It was just absolutely too much. There were bad things that happened that they knew was going to happen. When I say the people who made these things came up with these protocols. It was a bad time in America, and it's one that I'm never going to forget because it changed me as a person. It did. And I think it did that for a lot of people. A lot of people start off with, yeah, I was fine. And then in 2020, it always starts off like that. I was fine. And then in 2020, like that's how it always seems to go. So it really is something like I said, I'm never going to forget it.